Let's go through all of the ways that DOGE is lying to you. They claim to have found $55 billion in savings, but their receipts are riddled with errors. They claim to have saved $8 billion by canceling a contract that is actually worth $8 million and had already seen $3.8 million of it spent. A $655 million contract was counted 3 times by DOGE, and the agency also failed to account for the indefinite nature of the funding because only $400 million had actually been spent. Last week, DOGE claimed to have saved $1.9 billion by convincing the IRS to cancel one of its contracts, but in reality, that contract had been canceled in November of last year, meaning if you want to thank anyone for that savings, you can thank the Biden administration. DOGE claimed to have saved $232 million on a contract that provided technology to the Social Security Administration, when in reality, only a small aspect of the program was canceled, bringing the savings down to just $560,000, which is like fractions of a penny to the federal government. An environmental science contract that ended on time in December of 2024 when it was scheduled to end was claimed as savings by DOGE, which doesn't make any sense because they did not cancel the program, and that money was never going to be spent in 2025 anyway. DOGE's wall of receipts is not only riddled with errors, sometimes turning millions into billions, it also doesn't add up to their $55 billion savings number. They say 80% of their savings comes from the other efforts like reducing the size of the federal workforce, but they don't share specific numbers about that, and they're failing to square up the fact that many of the people that they're firing are essential, and therefore these firings are going to cost us more in the long term. They just fired hundreds of people that safeguard our nuclear arsenal, and now they are scrambling to rehire those people. Firing essential workers and then rehiring them is more expensive, which also doesn't account for the cost of terminating contracts. When a program is ended, there are administrative costs like storing and returning equipment, canceling property leases, offboarding staff. This is a typically lengthy process, and now it's going to be even more drawn out and expensive due to litigation. DOGE also fails to tell you when the programs that they're cutting would save us more in the long run. It's like if you stopped paying your rent, yeah, you would have $2,000 more every month, but eventually you're going to be sued and evicted, and that's going to cost you a lot more. DOGE claimed that it was saving $10 million by canceling programs aimed at reducing the spread of HIV, for example, but it's important to note that efforts put into preventing the spread of HIV end up saving us billions of dollars because infections are more expensive. DOGE is also repeatedly making errors regarding umbrella contracts. So this is when the government sets a ceiling for their spending, but that doesn't mean all of it is going to be spent, and therefore you can't claim that the full number could be saved. For example, if they have a $100 million umbrella contract, that means they might spend up to that, but maybe they actually only have a few contracts applied that add up to $10 million, just to say. And then that $90 million is not money that was spent, so it can't be saved, and it can't be applied anywhere else. For more explanation, visit these sources. They go into it in a lot more detail, and you can view the numbers and the sources yourself, which I highly recommend. Don't just blindly believe things that DOGE is putting out online because they're lying about a lot of stuff.